Hi, this is me, Felix. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use my Android library, which is EasySync library in your Android project. EasySync library is a library which helps developers to easily synchronize their online database data to their phone database with just few lines of code. This library supports both the normal SQLite Open Helper and then the room persistent database. Using this library, you don't have to worry about networking, you don't have to worry about inserting data, you don't have to worry about multi-threading. Everything has been managed for you. What you have to do is to just annotate your entity or object that represents your database table with what the library requires. So now let's get started. Before you begin, make sure you add this line of code in your Gradle project level. Then in your app level, make sure you add this line of code. Then in your dependency, you add this line of code, which is the com.github.felixkh and blah blah blah, and the version should be 0.04. That is the current version right now. Then you sync your project. Once your project is synced, this library becomes part of your project. Then you can begin using the functionalities in this library. So now let me go to my main activity here. I have nothing but just a progress bar, text view, and my database object. Let me show you the view. This is my progress bar, and then this is my button. Okay. So now let me show you my DB helper. I have users, I have organizations with the first, the ID is auto incremental and blah blah blah. Now I have created a tables entities that represent my table in my database. So I have users over here, and these are the first. I also have organizations here, which with it first, with the first. Then what we are going to do is to just annotate these entities or this object with what the library requires. So what we are going to do is to just annotate it with at EasySync. That is it. So now let's the next step is to analyze the data which is coming from our API. So now I am using a public API which is users over here. So this is how it is. This is an array of objects. So now what we are going to do is to get this ID, then we map it over here, key. Make sure the map is from falinkotech.easysync.annotations.map, and the same thing over here. Okay, so now we are also going to map the name, key. We copy the name, then we also copy the email, and then the street. So the street is it is inside another object. So what we are going to do is to just copy this address forward slash then the street. Okay, then the lat key. So the lat is also inside the address forward slash geo forward slash lat. So the same thing we are going to do for the long. Then we are going to replace the lat with the long. That is it. Okay, so let's do the same for the organization. So for organizations, what we are going to do is to also annotate it with EasySync. Now let's take a look at this. When you go to the organization, this is not an array of objects, but this is an object with the key organizations holding what we what we want to save in our database. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to just copy these organizations, then we just specify arrow key, which is equal to this, right? Okay, so right now our ID is also auto incremental. So with map, let's also map this key st. Okay, we also map the name with the key, then the city, sorry, map key, city, map key, state, then map key. Now let's take a look at this. This field is EIN name. Now when we go to the DB, we have EIN. So which means this field does not correspond to this name. So what you are going to do um, is to do this to this. So what this means is that the name over here is not what is in our database field or in our database table field. The table field is called EIN. So use this name instead of this one. All right. Okay. So now I copy this. Then I save here. The same thing. If the database table name is not does not correspond to this, then we can also specify over here by saying table name. Then let me say org. This is what is specified in our database. But now our database name corresponds to this name, so we are going to omit this. Okay. So now then we also map this by saying key. Then has PDF this. Okay, you can also set a default value. Let me say 2 to 8, right? Assuming you don't need it, you want to by default it should be 2. Okay, so right now I'm not going to set any default value. Okay, so now we are done annotating our fields. So now let me go back to my main activity over here. Then over here I'll create a list of EasySync items. So what I'll do is to create a list of EasySync item. So EasySync item which is equal to new array list. So EasySync item dot add new EasySync. So this the first argument requires the entity or the that's the entity name. So we are going to use the users dot class users dot class, then our URL. Now when you go to this, let me show you the okay, let me show you this. We have a bunch of constructors over here. We have some which are get, we also have some which are post. So we can go through it and then use which one best fits your API. So you can see this one uses post. So the class, the string, that's the URL and the hash map. So the hash map is a string value pairs. You can also, I think we also have one which is object, which is a JSON object as your payload. Yeah, so this is your payload. So you can go through it and then use which one best fits your API. So we have get and then we have post. Okay, so now this one is get. So I'll just use the get constructor. So I'll just paste it here. Then I'll duplicate this. Then instead of users, I'll make it organizations. Then also I will replace the URL this with this guy. So now what we are going to do is that we are going to do this new easy sync this dot set database. So we set our db dot set sync items. So sync easy sync items dot start easy sync. That is all we need to do. Now we also have a method where it will show a progress dialog for you by saying dot show progress bar true. Then you can also set the message by saying dot message set load message. Let me say um, loading items, please wait. Dot start easy sync. Okay, so now let me run this. But before running this, let's check our database. So this is our database. Let me synchronize it. Okay, so I'm going to save this database to my desktop. Then I will open it. So this is it. No. So we have organizations, we have users. You can see there's nothing inside it. Okay, so now let me run this app. Okay, so now let me click on this. Loading items, please wait. Bam. So right now everything has been loaded. So let me go back to this. Let me synchronize this. Then open it. You can see we have data inside it. So let me save it. Before that, let me close this. Save as on my desktop. Okay, replace it. So let me open my DB browser. Open desktop. Browser. Wow. So now we have our organizations. We have organizations. So let me go to my users. Bam. We also have our users over here. So right now everything is working. Okay. So now let me also show you one thing. Let us set a listener. So set listener, which is equal to this. So let's implement this listener over here. So which is the sync listener. Then implement. So let's implement everything. It's like this. Okay, so now I'm going to explain each and every method over here. So now this onComplete is when all everything has been loaded. And then on fatal error is especially when the database is not set. Then on queue change is when this item has finished downloading and inserting and it is moving to the next item. Okay, then on insert is also the when this guy or when this item has been downloaded and it is being inserted into your database. So this one will give you if the insertion was successful, then it will give you the EasySync item, and then it's also and this one will give you the number of items from your API. Then this one will give you the current index. Um, Let me say uh, the current index in your data where it is being saved. So let me explain this further. As, so this is the array. So this is zero. This is index zero. This is index one, index two. So this one will give you the total number of items, and then this one will give you um, the zero, the one, the two, and the three going. Okay. So right now, what I'm going to do is to when everything is done downloading, then I will just set the text view, set text or data downloaded successfully. Then on filter error, let me post something. Make this error message. Dot dot show. Then on queue change is when um, this is done downloading an insertion and it is moving to this to the next one. So let me say text view dot set text by saying downloading plus downloading plus sync item dot get sync class dot get simple name. So it's going to be downloading users, downloading organizations, right? Then on insert, we are going to, so right now, what we are going to do is to set this to false. So we are going to implement our own progress bar. So what we are going to do is to do some few calculations. So what we are going to do is to do this over times zero times the inserted over the number of items. So this one will give us double. I'm saying double. Say percentage, which is equal to this. Then we set our progress bar dot set progress. This one requires end. So what we are going to do is to do math dot seal, then percentage, then we typecast this as integer. So our code is done. So let me run this again. Okay, so right now let me hit this button. Wow, see, all data has been downloaded successfully. Because I'm using let me extend it and then check if it will come. Okay, so that's it. All data downloaded successfully. So let me hit it again. Say downloading users. All data downloaded successfully. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.